What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another video, and this one right here is all about Yve's attitude, Yve's behavior towards her son. In fact, in the last video, or one of the last videos that I made regarding Yve and Mohammed, I strongly spoke about how Yve had been neglecting her son. Since then, I then come across a thread on Reddit, which is now actually talking about the situation with Yve and her son, and also Mohammed's involvement. So that's exactly what we are about to get into. And in this video, we will be going back in time to see some cast members who have also pretty much neglected their child in the pursuit of love. But hey, before we continue though, let's give a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, that is a member of Patreon, and that is a subscriber as we continue to grow. Now, what we're going to do right here is identify one thing that Yve was, or one of the things that Yve did at the very beginning of the season that was spoke about to a certain degree, but now it really has to be enhanced. But as you can see right here in this comment itself in particular, this person came out by saying, don't forget Yve forced Mohammed to provide daycare because she couldn't find any. At least that was the assumption that we was given anyway. Mohammed was in no way qualified to care for a special needs child, especially one combative to get dressed for the wedding. And it's crazy though, because I remember that scene, and that scene itself in particular, I made it abundantly clear how Yve was doing the wrong thing by allowing Mohammed to look after her son, despite the fact that yes, Mohammed may have made a connection with Tharan over the phone in terms of the face call, but he never necessarily had that physical interaction. And that was always going to be so freaking different. And really and truly, you want to leave your child, one, with someone that you know you can leave your child with for starters, regardless whether your child is in a spectrum or not. Two, you want to leave your child with someone that knows what the hell they're doing around children, okay? And three, if you've got a kid that's special needs, you want to make sure that person isn't necessarily qualified, but at least has some form of experience. But most importantly, you want to make sure that you show them the way. You show them how your child prefers certain things to be done. Because remember, in that first episode, Yve left Mohammed in the house, and he had no idea how to work the shower, he had no idea how to work he didn't know nothing, pretty much. Why? Because she gave him no tutorial. Literally, he lands, next morning she goes to work. Most people will take a week off, maybe 2 weeks off, so they can show their partner or someone who's supposed to be their partner, okay, obviously the new location. So this is where our shops are. This is obviously where this is how you used to turn on the oven. This is where you know what I mean? She did none of those things. And you think for someone who's got a child, she would have done a better freaking job, but she failed miserably. But let's continue. This person continues by saying she enslaved him to watch her child. That also put her son in jeopardy with having an unqualified person provide care. Yve is a lousy mother and a lousy human being. And you know what? I just want to add, I received an email, I believe it was yesterday before, okay? And this email was someone expressing to me how they believed that Yve was purposely seeking sympathy when it came to her son. Because we know that obviously at this moment in time, her son, I believe, has a kidney disease. And in one of the scenes, we witnessed Yve feed her son a burger. And from what I understand, I was told that this is something that you wouldn't necessarily feed someone who's got a kidney disease, and because obviously red meat isn't necessarily good for you. You know what I mean? That was the context of the conversation. So this person was merely saying that she reckons Yve is over exaggerating how much need he is in, and it's not because Tharan is that critical. It's more because she's not actually looking after him properly in terms of what she's feeding him. Now, whether that is true or not, we don't know. But just to fit in with the whole lousy, slousy, whatever type mother she is, I think there were evidence of it anyway throughout the season, and that was one of them. Whether that's factual or not, or if it was just one odd scene, again though, it was still something good that someone caught that, because it could be true. Because really and truly, you know, I think it's important that we call out any mothers or parents we see in general on these TV shows who are doing a terrible job. And to be fair, we've seen it with the Slayton sister. We've seen it with Amy Slayton. Obviously, she had her son in a house that was unreasonable. So obviously, people had to call her out, okay? And sadly, it happened again within the most recent season again. And people are only hoping that now she's doing a better job with her second child, but who knows, you know what I mean? So it's not like these are things that we haven't seen before, but when they have been seen before, we have called them out. The issue is that she obviously isn't doing much about it. But let's continue though. Wrong screen. So as you can also see right here, yeah, I got to agree with everything you're saying. My 5-year-old son is a non-verbal autistic, and I can't imagine ever allowing a 25-year-old with no experience with any child, let alone a child with special needs, care for him. I actually kind of like Eve, but her parenting is effed up. Totally unacceptable. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how you can kind of like someone, but yet you know that their parenting isn't great. That makes no sense. If someone's parenting is not good, then you cannot like that person. Point blank, period. Where is your line? But at the end of the day, though, I like the fact that this person came out and said that, listen, I wouldn't necessarily leave my child. But this is the problem, though. This shouldn't be a conversation of, oh, but I wouldn't leave my child with someone. This should be, Eve, hello, anyone else out there who's a parent, hello, before you leave your child with anyone, you should be taking the right precautions. Do you know how many kids are traumatized in today's society? Think on that. Think on that. But let's move on to the next one. Now, this one itself in particular is now talking about other cast members that have been on 90 Day Fiancé in the past who blatantly we saw the red flags of them not being great parents. But hey, TLC keeps bringing them to our table, and sadly, we have to keep watching it. But luckily, it's a good thing that we do watch it so we can at least call it out. Because to be fair, calling it out, it may not make a massive effect, but at least it's something better than nothing. But let's continue with the next one. As you can see, now this one here is the one that is the most popular one in the thread itself in particular. The first person, well, the person starts off at the very beginning by saying, I feel really bad for most of these kids that are featured on 90 Day Fiancé. They're expected to welcome an adult they've spent minimal time with into their home and immediately accept them as a parent. That's usually destabilizing and can be extremely unsafe. And to be honest with you, I think maybe this is a good thing that when Shahida came in to Bilal's life, she was like, yo, these kids should be calling me mummy right now. And it's a good thing, to be fair. I can actually give that credit where credit's due when it came to Bilal's kids saying, whoa, we're not doing that just yet. And we may never do it. And it's a good thing that Bilal obviously supported his children in that rather than supporting someone that basically was a stranger or is a stranger to, well, where was a stranger to his kids. So that I can put a lot of respect to it, if you know what I mean. But let's continue. Now, of course, the person comes in here and adds in and says, every parent says they'll walk away if the kids doesn't like the new arrangement, and every parent puts the kids on the back burner so they have a spouse, however good or bad. And this is where it gets interesting, because you see, this person comes and says, me too. The whole Marseille and Anna made me so mad because of it. She invites a Muslim stranger. I don't know why that's relevant, the fact that he's Muslim, but okay, whatever. I guess we can take that as subliminal racism or some sort of degree. I don't know, but you let me know how you feel about that one. I just don't think him being Muslim is relevant. But anyway, she invites a stranger. Yes, she invites a stranger to live with her parents, and then treats them like they don't matter at all. People think they're adorable, but I thought she was a horrible mother. He was a terrible stepdad. Same goes for Eve and Mo, obviously. Now, here's the thing, though. Let's also add on a little bit more when it comes to the whole Marseille and Anna situation. In fact, this is the most craziest thing, okay? In that situation, I believe it was Anna's mother. No, I remember watching that season, and I remember the kids at first. The oldest kid, he was unsure whether he liked Marseille or not. I remember that. But the mum didn't do too much really to care about what her kid had expressed. I remember the old one at first not being too sure. And I think it was the younger one that was okay with it. He was young though, and the middle one was a bit like, you know what I mean? But I remember that, to be fair with you. So the fact that she actually ignored her oldest son, and obviously ignored the fact that the children may have not been comfortable with a new man, a random person coming into their life, that was very questionable. And to be fair with you, again, these are things that need to be identified. But instead of them being identified, or but instead of them being acknowledged by Anna herself in particular, what did she do? She continued to allow a man to come into the house, even though the kids wasn't too sure. And then on top of that, what does TLC do? They bring them back on for flipping 90-day pillow talk, 90-day diaries, whatever you want to call it. They came back for one of them. I'm pretty sure it's more than once as well. It's like really interesting. Didn't they get a spin-off as well on Discovery Plus? I'm not too sure, but these little things are little things. And I say these little things because people see them as little things, but they're not little things. These are major things. But also at the very bottom here, this person comes out and says, I agree, but I thought Molly was the worst. Dude was irresponsible with her teen daughter, who then moved out, and he was alone with her younger daughter all day. So effed up. I can't watch it on Pillow Talk because she makes me sick. And the dude who married Lydia, another worst parent contender. I'm not too sure about that dude or that parent, that person in particular. But again, it is quite crazy though how this whole Mohammed Eve situation has really woken up a lot of people to say, wait, hold on a minute, hold on a minute, like, Anna was like this with Marseille. Molly was like this. And these are big red flags. And to be honest, we can even slap Memphis into that conversation. Because at the end of the day, Memphis flew all the way to Tunisia to meet a guy and then brings him back to her house to meet her kids that the kids had no idea about. In fact, the crazy thing about Memphis' story is that Memphis hadn't even met Hamza yet. That was her first time meeting him, from what I remember. And then she marries him quickly, was that's the goal, right? To bring him straight back to live with her and her kids. Madness. Madness. And to be fair with you, I think the Molly situation is definitely one of the most effed up things because that's a teenage girl right there. You know what I mean? And you're letting them. Let's not even go here. We can go there in the comment section, but I'm not gonna go there right now because I want to start effing and blind and I'm blowing my casket, if you know what I mean. You know, and I now got to just laugh it off so I don't get peed off. But at the end of the day, it's very important that you guys get your comments in the comment section so we can hear exactly your thoughts in terms of maybe some other cast members in the past that I haven't come across. Obviously within me watching 90 Day Fiancé, or let alone obviously even the whole. I'll tell you this now: the thread on Reddit, it is up to one. The last time that I checked, it was at 1.1k comments. Crazy, and that was in a space of 6 freaking hours. The most I've ever seen is 600. That's over a couple of days. Can you imagine? So trust me, it's going off, which is great because a lot of people are speaking up. So, guys, get in the comment section, okay? Speak up. Let's get the conversation going, all right? And we can bounce off each other. You know what I mean? Okay, come on now. We're a community. Let's make it happen. But nonetheless, though, I really hope that TLC, which they won't, but I really hope TLC will stop bringing people onto the TV screen that are force feeding random people to come into their lives and expect their children to be a-okay. And then when their children and then when they do, their children don't even have a choice but to put up with this random stranger who, may I also add, this is not only it's one thing that is a stranger, but this is a stranger that's never been to America, a stranger that doesn't even know where most of the shops are, a stranger that arguably may not even know how to use a bloody phone because you never know sometimes, right? A stranger that doesn't even know how to put on the oven or the stove because we saw that Mohammed. So you got all these things are actually quite dangerous. You're leaving your child with someone who doesn't even know the location. What if that person decides to walk out with your kid and then that just doesn't come back because they got lost? Just think about these things. So many red flags to bring in a random person into your child's life. This makes me respect Tom. Tom is with a lady. She's basically like another version of Darcy. But I remember in 90 Day Diaries, you know, Tom's like, you know, we need to find a way to be together, whatever. She's like, well, I gotta make sure things are good with my kids first. And you know what? I respect that. What we're seeing right here is absolutely abysmal. And I don't know why TLC keeps feeding garbage. But hey, man, end of the day, I pray for the kids for the future because this is gonna happen again. But I think as long as we can keep the conversation happening each time it does happen, at least we're making some kind of a wave difference, maybe, but something, you know. Change starts from somewhere. Start from here, who knows? But nonetheless, though, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing you guys in the comment section. You know what I mean? Even if I don't actually respond to you, don't worry. I'm there and I'm reading you for your good concern. But hey, thank you so much. And like, subscribe. Peace.